Well, as much as I hate to leave Bahia de los Muertos, it's time for me to go. But before I go, now that everything's so calm, no wind, you can see the bottom. I'm like in 5.5 feet of water. And I'm just gonna show you. It's just so cool, man. And you know, when it's so windy, you can't see it, you know, but you can now. So before I go, I'm just gonna shoot some video of this. And you can see the fish too. Look at that. It's incredible. I think those are puffer fish. And they do like hanging out under the boat where the shade is. You can see that. Bahia de los Muertos. Yeah, pretty darn awesome. Getting ready to weigh anchor. There's my anchor chain. Look at how clear this water is. And there's the anchor. Wow, pretty cool. That sucker held in 24 knots. Here I'm disconnecting the Dyneema soft shackle that I used to connect the snubber to the chain. Well, you can see it's really buried in there. There's a puffer fish. It's kind of inspecting the situation. And I'm just pulling up on it a little bit. There, it's starting to come now. Kind of letting the boat's drift do it. You know? There we are. I'm going to give the boat a little kick so we don't drift this way. The depth already is only 4.5. So 4.5. We're underway from Bahia de los Muertos. Let's take a look. That's definitely one of my favorite anchorages to date. I wouldn't say it's as high as Turtle Bay. Turtle Bay is probably my favorite so far. But yeah, it's good. I don't know if you can see these houses, but I mean, they are really beautiful. I mean, they're more isolated than those ones near Cabo San Lucas, but I'm sure they're equally as magnificent, right? No wind really to speak of right now. When you're going north in the Gulf of California, that's fine, because the alternative is blistering winds coming out of the north. Going north in here, you pick the least wind days you can. So that may mean you're motoring. Over there around the corner is Bahia de los Muertos. And as we pan across here, you got a point, and then you've got this island here. This is Isla Soralvo. It also shows up on the chart as Isla Jacques Cousteau. And we're gonna go through this strait here between the island and the mainland right here. Oh yeah. Lining ourselves up here to go through this strait between Isla Jacques Cousteau and the mainland. This is, you can kind of see a lighthouse at the end of that point. That lighthouse is Punta Arena de la Ventana lighthouse. The rollers are pretty big. La Paz is showing a slightly rising tide right now, so I think there probably is a little water moving towards La Paz in this strait here, so everything's working in my favor so far. Just about a beam of the lighthouse now. There it is. Punta de Arena de la Ventana lighthouse. And this is Isla Jacques Cousteau. There's a light on here too, but it doesn't appear to be a lighthouse because you can't really see it. I don't really see it, you know, in the daylight. But it's called Roca Montaña Light. Yeah, there's a good shot of the strait. We're gonna be going through there. Oh, I think you can see Isla Espiritu Santo in the distance, kind of in the middle of the strait there. I think we can kind of start seeing the turn into La Paz. Nice. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm gonna have to do something about that. So if we look south from the lighthouse this way, you can kind of see there's that smaller mountain closer to us, and then the bigger mountain behind us. Well, in between there is Bahia de los Muertos. Oh yeah. I'm just looking at the water and it is flat. There's a huge lee for this island. And I'm just like, so really right here where the swell is, once I get behind this island, it's gonna be nice. You look up there and it just doesn't look to be anything. It just looks flat up there. So really, really cool. Look at the sea state in this little strait here. Just really pleasant. Now, if there's anything to complain about, it's just that the wind is coming straight on the stem. So I can't put the head sail out, but yeah, still a beautiful sail. Come out of the lee of Isla Soralvo, aka Isla Jacques Cousteau, and now I'm getting the wind that funnels down here between the island and the mainland. I'm making about 3 knots, maybe a little more, 3.2 average, 3.3 maybe, and I'm getting about 15 knots of wind coming down this gap. And I'll show you what we got for sea state. Probably 2 to 3 feet with 18, 19 knots of wind now. I almost always sail with it reefed, and part of the reason for that is because I almost always sail single-handed, and having to deal with reefing and unreefing and constantly doing that is just dangerous because I got to go forward and you never know the conditions. There are some times where, you know, I'd rather not go up there, and so I play it safe. Sometimes you just have to resign yourself to the fact that it's going to be a bash, a motor sailing bash, baby. Not a monster mash, a motor sailing bash. That's what this is going to be, a motor sailing bash. Just got to resign myself to it, you know, it is what it is. I think that's one of the things that sailing teaches is acceptance. I'm still learning that. It's a lesson I've been learning my whole life, it seems. The bash. I did the monster bash. I did the bash. It was a La Paz smash. The monster bash. lesson learned here is if you're coming to La Paz, you better pick a good weather window. Because if you pick a marginal weather window, you're going to find yourself in this little strait behind Isla Saralvo, aka Isla Jacques Cousteau, and you're going to get whomped because the wind just comes ripping down this thing. Woo, woo. The predict wind models were saying like calm to 5 knots, and I'm getting easily close to 20. So if you find yourself between two big mountain ranges, like I'm finding myself here, you're going to get some wind. Even if it says calm. It said calm. Yeah, my Yanmar runs really good at 2,000. She'll run higher, so she's over 30 years old, and there's no reason to push her when you're in these conditions. You don't want her to fail, so you want to kind of find her sweet spot and let her run. I definitely wouldn't want her to quit on me right now. I mean, I'd probably turn back around, go downwind back to Muertos. Not interested in that. My plan is to move towards Punta Gorda, get closer there, and then tack over. So if I can get like 6 miles on that tack, then I can tack again, and I'll be clear that narrow part where Punta Gorda and Isla Saralvo, that's the narrowest point. I'm approaching it right now, so I think that's the issue really right here. Just too much wind noise here, but that was Punta Gorda, and then here's Isla Saralvo, and you can see that's just the narrowest point of this channel, and Punta Gorda is also a headland. So you're going to get some compression around there. You're going to get closer period on the waves. You're going to get taller waves, and you're going to get stronger winds and more powerful gusting. If I could just clear Punta Gorda. Yeah, another problem is that the tide in La Paz has started to ebb, and I'm pretty sure that has me not only going into probably 18 knots of wind, but also going into an opposite current. I think the ebb current in this strait runs south. That would make sense. The ebb current in this whole Gulf of California is going to run south, right? So I got current against me, wind against me. It's just going to be a slog for a little while. It's really all about these headlands. There's all kinds of compression that happens around these headlands. It's tough, you're looking at predict wind, but if you're going to be anywhere near the shore and you're going to be coming across these headlands, you're going to get compression. You're going to get, an elevated sea state, an elevated wind speed. And, now I made it around Punta Gorda. And now look at this. The north end of Isla Jacques Cousteau. Yeah, that's Isla S3E22 up ahead. Yeah, there's a little strait in between that island and the mainland. Taking a left through there. It's just so nice to see it without the white caps.